What's going on, trainers? It's your boy ADRIZZY here, back again with another tabletop match. Today we have Jordan, our good friend from St. Louis. He came down and wanted to play Johnny, so he's on the left playing GarbDrampa. Johnny on the right is playing Sylveon. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. These guys are just setting up here. Let's see. So Jordan was able to pull out his basic, and I believe Johnny mulligan. Yep. See that dice right there on Jordan's deck? That's a 1, meaning Johnny mulliganed once, so Jordan can grab an extra card at the beginning of the game. So Johnny's shuffling, see if he can get a basic this time. Nope, he mulliganed again, so Jordan's going to change it to 2. So this match was actually played while day 2 was going on in Seattle. I know that GarbDrampa placed like 23 placings out of 32 decks in Seattle, so this is actually a pretty good matchup. So Johnny has another mulligan, so there's 3, and I believe Johnny is going first. So before the game even starts, Jordan has to draw his 3 cards if he chooses to. He doesn't have to, but I'm pretty sure he will, giving him more cards so he can maybe set up a lot easier. Let's see if Johnny can get it on the 4th try. 4th try's a charm. I think I see the Eevee right now. Oh, okay, and he has 2. He plays 2 down. Those are the only 2 basic Pokemon he plays, are Eevee. This deck with Sylveon is more of a disruption, but I think Johnny plays it a little different than any other player would. He actually attacks with it as well. Shake hands. So we have Johnny with 2. And Jordan also with 2 Trubbish. So see, you see him drawing his mulligans. Waits for Johnny, so Johnny's starting the game. He draws for turn. He attaches the Fairy Energy and uses Eevee's ability to evolve right away to Sylveon. Once again, guys, I want to remind you that I have cut out a lot of the shuffling. So these guys did shuffle. I just, nobody wants to see players shuffle. I'd fall asleep if they were shuffling the whole game. Just kidding. So we see Johnny play the Parallel City, and he faces the blue side, meaning Jordan can only have 3 bench Pokemon. He plays the blue side towards Jordan, and he plays the N. Both players draw their 6. Alright, let's see. Jordan has an N as well. I couldn't quite see what he has. So Johnny passed. Jordan's going to draw for turn. See what he can grab. I see. Okay, so he puts the Choice Band, doing 30 more damage to each GX and EX. And right now, okay, so he plays the N. His hand wasn't too good. So the idea of Garbodor, guys, is that you are waiting for your opponent to keep discarding items so you can hit 20 for each item in your opponent's discard. Johnny knows that, so he might be, reluctant to play any items right now, maybe especially early game. So Sylveon does have that Fairy Energy, so he can Magical Ribbon, searching his deck for 3 cards and putting them into his hand. So we see the Stadium being countered with Altar of the Moon, giving Psychic Pokemon 2 less retreat cost. Ultra Ball, discarding that Olympia and that Choice Band. Not sure if that's going to hurt Jordan on later, because he already has 2 on his Pokemon. A Field Blower will knock those out. Discard the tool, so he'd have 3 already in the discard. Not sure if he plays the Tool Recycler card. And he passes. So we see that he searched for the Drampa and passed. Johnny drew for turn and already evolved the 2nd Sylveon. Plays DCE on the active Sylveon, so now he can attack, hitting for 110. And he's going to Fairy Wind for the knockout, taking 1 prize. We see a 2nd Drampa come down on Jordan's bench. Be a Seeker for the N. And see, even though Jordan had no cards in his hand, he still has to shuffle because he has a hand of 0. So always remember that, guys. A hand of 0 still counts as a hand, so he still shuffled for the N. So John is going to draw 5 while Jordan draws 6. If Jordan can attach an energy to the active Drampa, he will be able to discard that DCE with its first attack, excuse me. So we see, okay, so we see the Rainbow Energy attached to the benched Trubbish, adding 1 damage counter to the Trubbish. Oh, I like this play. Okay, so what he does, he multi-switches, moving the energy onto the Drampa. He left the damage on the Trubbish simply because the second attack of Drampa does 70 more damage if there's damage on his bench. So you'd be hitting for 150, I believe. And with the choice band, you're doing 180. But he just used the first attack, discarding that DCE. Johnny plays the Enhanced Hammer right back, discarding that special energy. Just ask Jordan how many cards in hand, I believe. Maybe he's debating where they're not playing that N. Oh, and he plays Delinquent, actually. That's a great play, discarding both the Stadium and Jordan's whole hand. So right now, Jordan has a hand of 0. He is simply relying on top decks. Johnny played Magical Ribbon, or attacked with Magical Ribbon, giving those 3 cards. And I asked Johnny, since I know he plays Magical Ribbon in this deck, to show us. He has a DCE, a Field Blower, and he also grabbed a Team Rocket's Handiwork. I like the Team Rocket's Handiwork here simply because, oh, so we saw Jordan literally draw and pass. Johnny can play that Rocket's Handiwork, try and flip, and keep just discarding Jordan's deck since he's already in top deck mode. So Field Blower, see, here comes the 2 choice bands being discarded. And let's see what else he's... Okay, so we see a DCE come on to the Sylveon, so he's able to attack again. He Lysanders the Trubbish. He's doing this simply because he wants to remove the damage counters on the bench. That way Drampa's second attack doesn't attack for more damage. It just does 70 without any choice band. So we see Jordan evolve into Garbodor and passes. So Johnny might try to... oh, he Lysanders the Drampa, okay. And I believe Johnny only has 2 items set up. If you see the top right there on the discard, he did that simply because it's easier to count how many items he's played. Granted, I do not think he can do that in a real tournament, so keep that in mind. So we did 110 to the Drampa. Jordan's turn. He draws and passes. Johnny draws again. Attaches the Fair Energy to the bench, Sylveon. And he uses Plea GX. This GX makes Jordan bring up 2 Pokemon from his bench onto his hand that Johnny chooses. So he plays down the Drampa, Ultra Ball, an Ultra Ball, and a Trubbish. Okay. Searching for his deck. Maybe he wants to... Yep, I knew it. Okay. So Lele, and he uses Wonder Tag, allowing him to search for a supporter. Now, the question is, which supporter is Jordan going to search for? I see him... Okay, yeah. So he selected the Lily, allowing him to draw until he has 6 cards in his hand. Now, Lily is such a great card for a turn 1 play because it states that if it is your first turn, you can draw up until you have 8 cards in your hand. But since there's been about 3 or 4 turns between each player, he can only draw 6, so he plays Lily, drawing 5 cards. He probably didn't want to get rid of that Garbodor in his hand. Trainer's Mail. Let's see what he can grab. Maybe something to help him out. Oh, goodness. 2 DCEs, 1 Rainbow, and another Trainer's Mail. He cannot play a Trainer's Mail because it states on the card, so he couldn't grab anything. That's brutal. That's tough. Maybe those are the energies he's been searching for the whole game because he has no energy on board right now. Plays Altar of the Moon. Let's see, Johnny draws for turn. Via Seeker Lysander for the Trubbish. Okay. And he knocks it out. Johnny wants to see no Garbodors at all. He's just picking them off. So now, Jordan's Garbodor in his hand can't evolve simply because the Trubbish was knocked out. He plays the N, bringing Johnny down to 3 cards. I think I like this play. You know, try and get a little setup. Here you see me showing you his discard. So right now I counted 3, 4, 4 Trubbish. 4 Trubbish in Jordan's discard. That's brutal. So we see second trainer's mail. Oh, I see a DCE, 2 DCEs, and I didn't see what the second card was, but he also had literally the same thing: 2 DCEs, a Rainbow Energy, and another card that he probably couldn't grab. It might have been the Stadium, I think. So he's checking a discard to see what exactly has been discarded. So he's selecting the Rainbow Energies. I'm thinking he might special charge. Yep, special charge. I like this play. Bringing back the 2 special energy cards from his discard into his deck. Let's see if we can do something else. I see a Lele, I believe. A VS Seeker. Couldn't see the other 2 cards yet, so he passes. Johnny draws for turn. See what he's trying to play. So VS Seeker. Another VS Seeker. Lysandering the Drampa with energy on it, and he does Fairy Wind for 110, knocking out the Drampa, taking 2 prizes. So now Johnny is down to 1 prize card. Jordan needs something big here. So he's gonna, let's see, he's debating the Seeker. Okay, so he's gonna Seeker. So he's discarding his hand. That means he versus Seeker for Sycamore. Let's see, I see a DCE, a Garbodor, Rainbow, another Rainbow, a DCE. I think I saw 3 DCEs in his hand with 2 rainbows. There are all the energies he was searching for early game. He has the DCE onto Lele. So Lele attacks 20 for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. He attacks for 100. Johnny is at 150. Come on, Johnny, it's math. Simple math. Just kidding, guys. So let's see. Johnny is going to level ball. Okay, maybe search for another Eevee. Yep. Searching for the other Eevee. I'm not sure how many he has prized. Ooh, okay. So he evolves right away as well. So he's just setting up a bunch of Sylveons, making sure that Jordan needs to knock out all 3 in order to win this game. And he also plays Max Potion, guys, so he can literally remove all energy if he chooses to. So we see a Crushing Hammer. Can he flip heads? And I believe this one actually fell off the table, and the rule states that it has to stay on the table. So Johnny's gonna flip again. And we see Hoopa, so that means it is heads. Hoopa on the coin is what I'm referring to. So now Jordan got his energy discarded, but I know he has more in his hand. Okay, Team Rocket's handiwork. He flips 2 coins for each heads. You discard 2 cards. There's 1, and I believe that one was tails. So Jordan only discards 2 cards from his deck. Oh, and we see another Rainbow Energy in the discard. And he uses Magical Ribbon. 1, 2. Let's see, and 3. Hopefully he shows us what he grabbed this time, just so you guys can see. Shuffling right now. Jordan's checking his hand, seeing if he can do anything to counter. And yep, so we see a DCE, a Delinquent, and a Max Potion. Alright, Jordan attaches the other DCE onto his Lele, trying to knock out this Sylveon. It's at 150 and it would do 100 more damage, knocking it out. So Jordan is doing a quick discard check, seeing what's been discarded, what resources are gone. He's just thinking, probably wondering what the right play is, and he does 100 for the knockout. I wish I could see what he grabbed off those prizes. Johnny brings up the Sylveon, draws for turn. Let's see. So he asked, I know he probably asked Jordan how many cards in his hand simply because he did grab that delinquent. Maybe he's trying to play it, but Jordan has too many cards to actually make a difference. We see a Sycamore, so if he does have to discard a bunch of cards, he'd only Sycamore his hand and get a fresh start. So we see Fairy Wind for 110, I believe. Yep. So next turn, this Lele will get knocked out if Jordan can't do something about it. Let's see. So we see a Lysander. Yep. Okay. Lysander for the bench Sylveon that doesn't have a DCE, so he can't attack. He can only Magical Ribbon unless Johnny can find his DCE, attach it to Sylveon, and win the game. Okay, so we see a Rescue Stretcher bringing back a Trubbish. And we see the Trubbish come down onto the bench. I know Jordan has the Garbodor in hand. He attaches a second DCE onto this Lele, and he's attacking for 100. He is hoping that Johnny cannot get this DCE on his active, giving him another turn, possibly knocking out this Sylveon. Although Johnny does have that Max Potion in his hand, if I remember. Crushing Hammer. And it's heads again. Johnny is flipping these heads like no one else. So right now, okay, he attaches. Oh, and I see the retreat. He's going to retreat. Yep. Brings up the Sylveon and is going to knock him out, taking his final prize, which was a Team Flare Grunt. And Jordan, I believe he had Special Charge and a Lysander from the two prizes that I saw. Couldn't see the other two. That was a good game. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Please leave a comment with any constructive criticism, any comment, anything you liked about this match. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go ace on that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, train on.